Okay, welcome back to another Between the Pages book chat. And today our guest is sci fi author Jason Ford, and he's here to discuss his book, The Stray. And now I'm going to turn it over to him and let him introduce himself. So take it away.
Hi, I'm Jason Michael Ford. I'm happy to be here and happy to talk about my book. It's a beautiful Saturday, and I'm just sitting on my balcony enjoying the sunlight. It's good to see you.
Okay, great. It's nice that it's sunny there. So tell us a little bit about the book. Give us an overview of what it's about, that sort of thing.
Well, it's in the near future. It's speculative science fiction and drama kind of mashed together. It's about a man named Ethan Walter. He is uh, he ends up taking part in a experiment, um, basically a sleep experiment where he sleeps and dreams, and a very advanced artificial intelligence uh, takes things that he dreams and memories that he has and turns them into physical manifestations, people that he knows and loves, and it goes from there. And he finds out a lot about himself. And at the beginning, he's very reluctant. He's very uh, frightened, you might say, or anxious about the technology, the advancements that he's living in his world, and he goes on quite a journey.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the main character. What's his personality like? Whether he's how he goes about in the world.
Well, he's off. He's still stuck on a girl that he loved for a while, and it's a few months after they parted ways. At the beginning of the book, that's where he is, and he is kind of he he's stuck in a cycle, right? He's stuck in a mundane life. He's stuck working working a 9 to 5, and he's sedentary, basically. You know, he's not doing much in his life, and he kind of wants it that way. And the events that end up happening to him, he is kind of coerced into being the subject of this experiment. Reluctantly does it, and it begins to open him up, and it begins to change him. And so we go along on that journey, just following his transformation at the hands of, again, very advanced technology. So we kind of get swept up in that, and it shows him, you know, it shows him to well, basically it takes him on a journey of discovery about, I mean, you know, existence and just being a human, personhood, you know, what it's like, and you know, what it means to be a person. You know, it sounds kind of a ham-fisted, kind of a basic way to say it, but personhood is, you know, really what it's about. Existentialism, really, you know. So
Yeah. Well, some of the best sci-fi actually explores that theme. So I mean, yeah. So
I believe so too.
yeah. So what inspired the book?
Well, I really like this author, Stanislaw Lem. He's a Polish author. He wrote a book called Solaris, which I read, which ended up being one of my favorite books. And that was a big inspiration. The basic concept of uh, translating what is in a person's mind, what is in anybody's mind, into a physical reality and the discrepancies that inevitably happen there. The difference between what is in any of our heads and what is actually real in the physical world, right? There's always a discrepancy. So that book got me thinking about that topic a lot. So that was a huge inspiration. And also at the time when I started writing it, I was really digging into philosophy in general, philosophy and existentialism, just on my own interests. It was a big thing for me at that time. I was really diving into it. So I really put a lot of that into the book. It's kind of it follows my journey there as well as Ethan's. So.
Oh, cool. So, the Amazon, one of the categories on Amazon puts it in dystopian, but I was reading a little bit about it in a review, and it sounded like it may be more, there may be some utopian aspects to it as well, sort of a broken aspect of a utopia. So, was that intentional, or was that just sort of organic?
It was organic. It was really the setting. I don't personally agree with it being dystopian. I think you're right. It's a bit more utopian. It really is just the setting, to frame Ethan's journey. The main character's journey is what it really was. It doesn't talk so much about the world that he's. Well, it's sort of, in a way, it talks about the world that he's in, but it's more focused in very closely on his personal experience. So.
Okay, so what was the hardest scene or type of scene for you to write in the book?
I'm sorry?
What was the hardest scene or type of scene for you to write in the book?
Oh boy. Let's see hardest was probably, I would say, the ending. The last chapter is very it all kind of comes together in the last chapter. All kind of leads to that. So the last chapter involves a lot of tying things together, wrapping them up, and so that was kind of difficult, just to make it concise, make it make it readable and make it flow good while still getting in the exposition. Basically, that was quite a challenge. Yeah.
Okay, so what was your favorite scene or type of scene to write in the book?
My favorite one was probably when I guess it might be kind of a spoiler, but the scene where Ethan realizes something about it's big revelation about a character that just kind of broadsides him out of nowhere, and that was fun to write because it I don't know, I almost felt like kind of some adrenaline flowing as I was writing it, because it was just such a big event, and that was fun. It was fun to put a revelation like that, a sudden revelation, into words. That was interesting, and I really enjoyed it for sure.
Okay, so obviously technology is a character in your book, with AI and that sort of thing. So how did you balance that out against the human aspects and the psychological underpinnings of the book?
Well, my goal was to kind of meld those two things together. That's a succinct way to put it, in that the technology is a character. As it quite literally is. What it does is it physically manifests the characters that Ethan ends up relating to and talking with, and so that's, in that sense, it really is a close amalgamation. It was just a very I can't find the right word. It was the technology is the source of the drama, the source of the dramatization, the source of much of the
So the
dialogue
technology
in the book.
itself is sort of the antagonist, or at least
Yeah,
partly the
well,
antagonist.
partly, yeah. I'm not sure. So antagonist. I mean, really, it is. As far as if there's anything in the book that is an antagonist, it would definitely be the technology, the AI, uh, because it's a singularity AI, which means it comes to a point where it's so advanced and so powerful that uh, the kind of the definition, one of the definitions of a singularity AI is that all the human mind power that exists, if it were all put together, if we all worked together, put our heads together, as it were, everybody on the planet, it still wouldn't be enough to be as advanced and as intelligent as this runaway artificial intelligence. So it's near omniscient and near omnipotent. So it's less of an antagonist and more almost the hand of fate, if you will.
Well,
So
that's an interesting take on the AI, because I mean, usually they're malicious, or but you seem to create it more of as a force of nature almost.
yeah, well, that's a trapping of a singularity, artificial intelligence is that uh, it kind of departs uh, from human values, from human uh, understanding, and so it's kind of indifferent as nature is. In the same way, it's kind of indifferent in that it's beyond our own types of concerns and such. Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about some of the secondary characters in the book?
Sure. I guess the biggest one, of course, is his love interest, Cameron, and she's. I don't want to spoil anything from the book, but she's. I don't want to say she's kind of a blank slate, but she's kind of just a placeholder for Ethan in that it drives his character uh, motives and it informs his what he holds in the world as valuable to him, as irreplaceable. You know, something that he, you know, of course, something that he loves and that he can't do without. She's a big one, and then there's also the scientist that creates the AI, or rather creates the experiment that he's taking part in. His name is Dr. Holtz, and he begins in the book as again the creator of this, the mind behind this experiment that Ethan uh, partakes in, and it ends up twisting into something else with him, uh, and he basically ends up being kind of just the catalyst for Ethan's journey because it all kind of gets away from all of them. So
Oh, that sounds
it's
fun.
very yeah, it's very focused on Ethan. Really, it's very focused in on on the main character. Really,
So
but
it's
yeah,
would you call it a psychological sci-fi journey?
yeah, very much so. Yeah, I would.
Okay, so what are your characters afraid of?
Ethan is afraid of change. He's afraid of the uncontrollable. He's afraid of risk. He likes his comfort zone. He likes his safe little bubble. You know, where there's no surprises, and of course, again, he's beset by the world outside, the technology that is changing without his consent the way he lives. So he's afraid of really the technology, the change there frightens him. Yeah.
Yeah, you could say he represents a lot of, I guess, a lot of people in today's society that are having trouble with keeping up with the technological changes in the world.
Yeah, and I include myself in that, and it's only going to accelerate, right? It's
Yeah.
only going to get more and more intense. So yeah, it's a thing for sure. It's a real thing for sure.
Okay. So obviously you write sci-fi, but are there any other genres that you might like to write in the future or have written in?
I haven't. I've only written science fiction, and really, I would like to branch out. Honestly, one of my favorite authors is Raymond Carver. He does wonderful short stories, which have such he has such an economy of words and such straightforward, simple in a way, uh, prose. But his short stories, are so powerful and so just essential to the human experience. It's I would like to do something like that. I would like to do something that kind of rests on the words themselves. The Stray is all about concepts, like, right? It's a high concept novella. It very much works in that way, and so I would like to write something that's more uh, deals more with, I don't want to say mundane or everyday kind of things, but something that relies more on the characters themselves. Not to say that it's not so in The Stray, but I would like to do something more like that. More, I guess you say, pure drama, perhaps. Just straightforward drama, something like that. Something like Raymond Carver. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like fun too. So I think we'll wrap it up here, and I'll let you tell everyone where they can find you and your books.
Sure. Well, go to denovo.press. That's DENOVO. That's the publisher website. They'll have all the links there for where you can find the book. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. So give it a shot. Give it a read. I think you'll all like it.
Okay, so and I also have the Amazon link in the description below, so you be sure to check it out. And yes, it does sound interesting, and I did read a very good review of it while I was checking it out. So it does sound like a really interesting book. So, and I'd like to thank you for being here today. It was a pleasure chatting with you.
Same, likewise. Thank you very much.
And between the pages, we'll be back tomorrow with another author. So join us then. And that's all for now. Bye.